In your eyes, where the glow of your love used to shine. In your eyes, where the glow of your love used to shine. In your eyes, where the glow of love used to shine. In your eyes, where the glow of your love used to shine. In your eyes, where the glow of your love used to shine.
Welcome to the Thinking Man's Templar, the place where we say one life of freedom, far ways, a life of lies and subjugation, where the soldiers can come in from the war, remove their armor and drop their swords, and have conversations with like-minded men. And indeed, gentlemen, once again, I am at your service, dispelling the lies and offering a little bit of truth in a world full of madness and confusion and this and that. This video, I'm going to title A Tale of Two Women. Okay? And this video is for the older cats that watch these videos. This is for the younger guys who watch these videos. These are for the men who are in the States planning to escape and haven't really traveled. This is for the men who travelers, the new travelers. This is for the experienced travelers. And this is for the expats. This is something that I've come to grips with. And it should be something that we all need to understand, even when we travel, even when you go to these other countries. A lot of these rules still apply. A lot of the things that we understand about women don't change. Your environment works in your favor, but the nature and how women operate at different ages and different points in their life will always be universal law. There'll be no escaping it unless he's been really trained and guided to be a certain way, right? And this is something that we need to understand, right? I think the number one thing that a man should seek when he decides to enter the dating game is respect. In this day and age, women have lost their respect for men. Some of them claim out loud that they don't even like men, whatever the case may be, right? This is in the States. This is all over the world. The idea of searching and seeking out mates, men have to be very, very, very careful, very disciplined when it comes to this, because one mistake that I've made when I started to travel is thinking that the things that I understood about women didn't apply to the same degree that they do in America. The only thing that is different is the environment. That's it, right? And I'm gonna preface this with a story, a recent story, so that you can get an idea what I'm saying and where my mentality is when it comes to dealing with women abroad. I'm not a dating coach. I'm not one of these passport bros that go out and tell you to do this and all the women are gonna drop at your feet. No. And just to start a story, Black Ram sent me a TikTok of a guy saying, basically, quote unquote, in paraphrasing, if you love Asian women, did you know that Brazil has the highest population of Asian women outside of Japan, right? And he's trying to make it like a selling point. And he's like, you can go to Brazil and see nothing but thick, luscious, Asian women everywhere. Excuse me. And Ram sent it to me and he was like, is this true? Get some water. And I told Ram, absolutely not. Yes, it is a high population of Asian people here, and in certain areas called Little Japan, for those who've been to Sao Paulo, where it's like Japanese, everything there. It's like Little Tokyo anywhere else, right? But you don't really see Asian people out and about to the degree he's making it sound. Like, I can go weeks and be out going places and it could be literally weeks and I will not see one Asian person at all, right? I won't see an Asian girl walking around thick and juicy like he's saying. So you got to understand, a lot of these guys embellish so that they can get views, they can get clicks, and they lead you on with a false narrative that isn't true, right? I've been to Liberdade. I go there to shop. I go there to get things. I take people when they come visit to Liberdade. I literally took my boy there and we went around and went shopping, and he bought cologne and things like that, you know. So I hear this video and I'm automatically, as someone who lives here, I'm telling him, nah, that's not true. And Ram said, I thought it wasn't, because we know. And I don't really like that men tell this tale and mislead brothers when they go to these countries. It's not fair to them. Now, certain elements, concrete, yeah, certain things about Brazil they say are true. Certain things they say about Thailand are true, or Africa, or wherever, Europe, or whatever the case may be, to a certain degree, but it's a lot falls on you as well, right? And here's where I get into the story, right? I've kind of not really, I've been off and on in the dating game in the last couple of months. I kind of been focused on, you know, working out. I've been focused on a couple of things, right? I'm in the middle of my visa process. I'm kind of deciding like how much longer I want to be in Brazil, but I know I want to at least get my visa in order so that I can start making my voyages to Japan, right? And start to do my research and due diligence and try to see where it stands, you know, how I feel about it, things like that, and what the process is to get naturalized or get visas, and how does it work, what's the time, you know, because I have a life here. I have a lot of things here. I have an apartment, I have furniture, you know, I have bills, I have credit cards, you know. For me to uproot myself from Brazil is going to take a little bit more than someone who's just, you know, traveling and staying in Airbnbs. I have to kind of put things in order before I go, right? So just saying in general, right? But as of recently, I've been getting back out there. I've been going out a little more. I've been meeting women, getting numbers, right? So in the course of, I had a fight party for the Crawford fight, and my man came through. His homegirl brought a couple homegirls. I met one, got her information. Cute young shorty, probably like 24, 25, Afro-Latina, cute as hell, mad cool, speaks a little English, dressed nice, you know, seemed real chill, right? And then I went to this event last weekend with my boys, a couple events, and I met a couple girls. One of them I was talking to, and we started getting a rapport going. The other one, she ain't really respond, whatever. So one I kind of talked to for a week. The other one I've been talking to for like since the weekend, for more or less, right? So around this time, I'm starting to try to set up times to meet, right? Both of them work. So don't get that confused when people say all the girls don't work or they just bums. It's not the case, right? They both work. They both got busy lives. Cool. So I started making up dates. With the first one, she said, okay, I can hang around this time, which was Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. The other one that I met on Saturday was trying to hang out on Monday. So I had 2 back-to-back meetings with 2 girls, right? Both not intentionally, just because how schedules worked out. They both, one was off Monday, one was off Tuesday. Cool. I'm not trying to be no, playboy or nothing. I'm just trying to explore my options, see what's up. The first girl, and here's where I understand that things about respect, right? We're communicating all through the week. All of us, me and both girls are talking every day, right? I'm single. I just met them. I don't owe them anything. I'm not trying to be a cat or anything like that. But, I'm just seeing where I know one is going to fall off. I was told back in the day, if you got one shorty, you got no shorties when you're dating. Not when you have a girl or a wife, but depending on how you and your wife relationship is. But when you're dating, it's best to kind of have a couple of women because some are going to fall off. It's just how it works, right? The women do that. Men should do that. I feel like it gives you, it takes away that like feel of like, I gotta, if something goes wrong, that you gotta like overlook things and take disrespect, stuff like that, whatever. So the first girl was the one I met like a week prior, and we talking and we got a little more rapport, of course. And when it comes down to hanging out, the day comes. I was gonna go to this little spot, have a couple drinks, chat it up, see where the night goes, boom, 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 right? It's a Monday night. It's not too much things to do, but you can still pull off something, right? I've been here long enough to kind of know certain places to take women here. It's very simple. You don't got to do extravagant shit with girls here. That goes into play when I talk about the environment kind of working in your favor. You don't have to go to these, Roof Chris and all of that. They'll go to a regular little restaurant, have some drinks and chat it up, and they cool. Go somewhere with some music, they cool. You might spend $20 or something. Anyway, so it's not hard for you to date, is what I'm saying. So anyway, we're communicating throughout the day, and it comes down to around 8 o'clock. She's to the whole day. She's saying, yeah. I'm at work. I'm gonna try. It's a little something going on at work, so I'm gonna try to get it done, and blah blah blah. Cool. That's communication. I'm not tripping. Right around 7 o'clock, 7:30. She's supposed to get off at 6. She's like, she's still at work. I give her the benefit of the doubt. She's like, yo, can we reschedule for like Wednesday or Thursday? I said Thursday, right? Because there's more stuff to do. No problem, right? I didn't set my day up around meeting this girl. It was like, you gonna chill or you not? I'm gonna still do me regardless, right? If you don't come through, it's not like I'm sitting around waiting by the phone or nothing like that. Because I assume these things, right? And I'll get to a key point later. No, I'll go through it now. Because here in Brazil, they have a thing called Brazil time. And if you've been here and there's something about Brazil people that just like, they be real late to shit. They're not prompt. They say they be here at 12, they get there at 3. They do these things culturally that as Americans, it doesn't really sit with us because, a person like me, I try to be respectful of people's time. I'm always trying to be on time, right? It's just been something that's been drilled with me. I always worked, I always had jobs. And I was told that when you're supposed to be somewhere, you be somewhere, when you say you're going to do something, you do it. And if you can't do it, you communicate that you can't do it. That's called respect. You're respecting people's time. That's why I go back to this respect thing. When a job interview, if somebody told me if you got a job interview at 10 and you get there at 9:50, you're late. You should have been there at 9:30 and let them know you were there so that the person interviewing can say, okay, he's here at 9:30. He's serious. You understand? This is what I was brought up on. So I don't really sit well with this, and I've been told this by other people that's from the States that date here, male and female, that said like, yo, these motherfuckers just don't respect time. They like to get places late and shit like that, and it's just like whatevs out here. So that's something that really like is just a thing here, right? But there are people here that try to be like more respectful of your time. It's like a stereotype, but everybody isn't like that, if you understand what I'm saying. So anyway, she communicates, boom, boom, boom. And she says, yo, this work shit is getting a little funky. Like, can we reschedule? Because I don't want to be late. Not because she was like, yo, I can't make it. She said, I really don't want to be late. And I really just want to, stick to the plan. And I don't want you waiting around for me and shit like that. That's respect. I can understand that. I said, cool, we could do something Thursday, no big deal. We've been talking the whole time since. She apologized. She hit me up. When she got home, we still talked. And boom, boom, boom. We talked today. No worries. We'll go hang out tomorrow. Now, the other girl. Here's something. Now, here's what you got to understand. The other girl, same situation. Talking all day. She says, oh, I'm free today, right? She kind of puts it out there. Let's hang out. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to go here and I'll be like right by you and we can hang out. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. She says she's going to go to a thrift store and do a little shopping. No worries. Sounds cool, right? I'm going to be here. I got to run some errands, which I did. and I'll be home around 5, 6, and then we could probably get up like 7 and go do something. Cool, bam, bam, bam. Right? Now, again, I haven't set my night around this. Whereas, like, again, I'm meeting her somewhere or waiting somewhere for her or going to the spot. Yeah, meet me here. No, I'm at my house. You understand? We could meet here and go there. We don't even have to come upstairs. We could just meet here, jump in the same Uber and keep going, whatever. But I'm not going to go somewhere and wait for a person from here because this is what they do. And I've learned that the hard way. Right? So she said, fine, no worries. I'll come through. She already been to my crib. You see what I'm saying? And actually, she was at my crib another time, and I didn't even remember. She was at a barbecue. She's like, you don't remember I was here before? And I was like, nah. But she was here at my place twice. So she already knows where I live. It's no big deal. She's been around me multiple times. So she's like, all right, I'm going to come through. Time goes by. I hit her around 6. She says, yeah, I'm cool. I'm going to let you know. And here's the thing I said. I say, it's no worries. We can hang out. But if something changes, let me know. Right? I made that very clear. If something happens, just tell me. Right? Because, again, it's a respect thing. And it's also something that lets you gauge where someone's head is at. Because that is something very easy to do. Right? And this is maturity. If you can't make it, you just say, I can't make it. And reschedule. That's like what you do in business. You do that in any situation. It's a respect of people's time. So anyway, time goes by, 6 o'clock. So I just let me know. Right? I'm going to be at the crib chilling. She don't show up. I'm going to still be chilling one way or another. 7 comes around. Don't hear nothing. I'm not hitting her. I already made my statement. She said, cool. 8 o'clock come around, not here. 9 o'clock come around, hear nothing. Rest of the night goes by. I'm on the game. I'm chilling. I'm minding my business. Right? I'm not even hitting her up. I'm not blowing her phone. Where you at? Nothing. Whatever. Next day comes around, which is this was So she hits me earlier with the, what's up, baby? How are you? Okay, not yo, my bad about last night. Something happened. Whatever she's gonna say. My phone died. Whatever they was gonna say, right? Even though your phone dying is not a valid excuse in 2025. Let's be clear. They got phones with chargers attached to them. They got Ubers. Everywhere is a plug somewhere, right? And as much as women are on their phones, it's rare that a woman's phone just dies. Don't ever go for that. They got chargers in their purse, their book bag. A woman is not letting her phone die, right? But I didn't even get that, right? It's just what's up. So immediately, as most of you guys get the light bulb right now, you're like, oh, she just think it's all good. Like, yo, what's up, baby? She's like kind of testing, see if I'm gonna say something, oh, not my bad, yo. Apparently, if we was on a date and I was going somewhere to meet you, you just stood me up by definition, right? Even though I'm not taking it like that per se, I'm just looking at it like, whatever. She want to hang, she gonna hang. If she don't, she don't. It is what it is, right? I don't respond to that text. Why? Because it's a respect thing. I gave you all of the instructions on how to go about this, even to the point of just let me know if something comes up. Let me know. And she said, okay, right? You had every opportunity to maintain a respectful decorum in the situation. Now the next day you're hitting me saying what's up. There is no what's up, right? There is no what's up. There is no nothing. That's it. We're done here. I'm not hitting you up. It's cool. I'm cool, right? Because when someone doesn't respect your time, and again, she don't owe me shit. I don't know her like that. I know her just from mutual friends, but at the end of the day, she don't owe me shit. But that doesn't mean I can't stand on my principles as a man. Doesn't mean that you have to negate anything, even if you just meet a woman. You don't have to overlook anything, because if someone can't respect something simple as your time, you know what I mean? Even assuming worst case scenario, I'm at the house dressed waiting for you, just sitting there twiddling my thumbs. It didn't matter enough for you to pick up your phone and say, hey, I can't make it. At no point. As much as women are on their phone, you cannot let things like that slide. You cannot let little nuances of disrespect like that go, because if she hit me the next day and I was quick to respond, oh, what's up? Hey, don't worry about last night. I'm already a sucker. I'm already a sucker. She's already like, oh, I could do whatever with this guy. He has no standards or principles because I'm cute and this is what guys usually do. That's probably why she thought like that. Right? But no. Again, that's why you talk to multiple women. You know what I mean? Other girls still communicating, talking. She's still keeping in peace. Why would I keep dealing with somebody who don't know how to answer or do something as simple as saying I can't make it? It's two different levels, right? Both of them did the same thing, but one actually had the respect, and that in and of itself says a lot about her character, right? How she was raised. When you don't do that, it says a lot about you, right? It's just like if you were going to a business meeting and you caught up in traffic, or you got a flat tire, whatever the case may be, and you let people know, hey man, I can't make it, this is happening, can we reschedule for another day? I'm really serious about having this conversation. Most situations they will be like, cool, some things you can't prevent, that's fine, let's do it, you good. But if you just don't hit them, that person is going to look at you as far as business goes and realize that you might not be the type of person they want to do business with because of the way you operate. It's just as simple as that. Right? And what you got to understand is that everybody's around the world looking for a 1%er. Right? And when I mean a 1%er, I mean like a woman that's just outside of everything. Whether you believe that or not, that's what most people are looking for. All these conversations about on the internet about this and that, everybody's basically all talking about the same thing. They're just saying it in different ways. Because what most people don't understand is that most people you're going to deal with are the 99%. Those are the people that, regardless of the time length y'all together, y'all are not meant to be together. You're probably only meant as a man. I would say you might meet maybe 2 or 3 women, maybe 4 if you're lucky, that you get the opportunity to have that situation with, if you're lucky, right? But for the most part, you're going to be dealing with 99s. Not 99 overall like 2K. No, I'm talking about 99%ers, which is the majority of people that you're going to date that are going to be in and out your life. Now, here's the biggest factor about that, right? Is that most people, unfortunately, are marrying a 99%er. They're having children with a 99%er, right? And they are getting into these situations, these whether it's children, divorces, child support, whatever the case may be, is because most people, out of maybe desperation, are dealing with 99%ers. Now, does that mean it's going to be an awful outcome? No. I mean, it might just be as simple as y'all looking at each other and being like, yeah, I think we just should see other people. We're not really compatible. Simple. It's not always going to be like some devastating, heart, gut-wrenching breakup. It's, sometimes you might meet the person and y'all might just drift apart and go separate directions without a word. You might just date for a little bit. You might just be casual hookup friends and just go your separate ways. It doesn't mean it's going to be something terrible. It just means that most people you deal with are going to be somebody that's going to come for a season and they're going to go. And it's best for you as a man to at least understand that, because that will give you the fortitude to understand that most of these situations are going to be fleeting. Whether you do start off good and y'all get into a boyfriend girlfriend thing for 6 months or 2 years, and then y'all go y'all separate ways, or somebody gets cheated on, or whatever the fuck may happen, that was a 99%er, and that's why that happened, right? But if you meet a 1%er, these things are, if you're lucky and the Lord blesses you to, you won't deal with this, and that is rare. You understand? In this day and age, that's rare. That is rare. That's like making it to the NBA. You understand? You know what? It's like making it to the NBA with one arm, right? Finding that. The way the environment is, not because it's not good people out there, just how the environment is becoming in the world of dating around the world. It's becoming more complicated than it needs to be. This is not me being doom and gloom. This is just me being from an analytical perspective, right? For example, when I say that, there's a kid that's on YouTube that is super nice at basketball, but he has one arm. Some of you guys know him. You might even know his name. I think he might be playing some type of amateur league or maybe even college ball at this point. But he has one arm that he lost in an accident, but he is super nice with that one arm. But because of the environment of how the NBA is, it's almost an impossibility that he can make it to the NBA. No matter how good he is with one arm, he still just has one arm, right? It's just because how the NBA is people with two arms that can't get on the floor or on a team, and it's still like winning the lottery for great players with two arms that average 40 in high school that still can't get into the NBA. So you got to understand like what I'm getting at. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom here. We're just being analytical. So we're using a metaphor of sports so that it kind of, the picture makes more sense. Now, depending on where you go, just like if you're that athlete, if you go to Europe or you go to overseas, you might have a better chance of playing. You might actually get into the league and be successful because it's a different league and it's different rules, and you might be able to flourish. It doesn't mean it's over. It just means you might have to be a little more open about your horizons, where you choose to go. How far are you willing to go to accomplish this goal? It's the same thing with dating. It's all about your principles, your standards, and how far are you willing to go to find this. Some men have to go to the Philippines, they have to go to Japan or Africa or whatever, etc., to find this, right? But understand the rarity. Even in scripture, it says she's as rare as rubies. Like, she's hard to find in this world, right? And as a man, you gotta accept that. You just gotta accept it. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's okay to accept it and go about your business. Doesn't mean you don't have to date. Don't mean you can't have good relationships with women that like you, and for however it lasts, you know, you try to be, you know, make the best of it in whatever the situation is. But it's good to understand that, right? Now, and I will even add that the girl who didn't call and didn't show was actually more attractive. She definitely was. But at my age, that's not enough for me to overlook subtleties of disrespect like that. You just can't do it. And nowadays, a lot of men are comfortable with accepting things like that, right? They'll overlook that because of this desperation to be wanted or to achieve getting a girl that shows a little bit of interest to you. When you got to understand, women have men interested with them all the time, multiple, right? I would be a goofy to assume that girl doesn't have multiple men in her phone, or that she doesn't have men that she's sleeping with, or a guy or a boy. You know, you understand what I'm saying? I cannot assume any of these things, right? And it'd be wrong for me to just assume it was disrespect, or to even assume that she has somebody else that supersedes me, and that's fine. I didn't know you like that like 4 days ago, so you have your own life that's already happening. So at this point, I'm a new face. But here's the thing: if a woman is showing genuine interest, where she's putting equal effort, that is something that you have to take heed to. I don't ever want to be the guy trying to work his way up from the G League, and there's in the roster is 15 roster spots in front of me. Like, for what? Especially if I'm not a prospect out the gate. You see what I'm saying? Especially with women. And this is basketball analogy, but if I'm not a prospect to you, like a first draft pick where you're like, yo, let me focus here, I don't want to do that. I'm not fighting for a starting spot, yo. I refuse. I'm not playing that game. Women have had that in the pocket for so long. It's at a point where men have to make an adjustment. You have to change your game plan. You understand? You got to look at it like, yo, I'm not playing that game. I refuse. And that is something that comes down to you as a man. You have to value yourself. You have to value what you've accomplished, what you survived, the wisdom, everything that comes with you as a man. You know what I mean? You brothers are smart. You brothers are wise. You brothers are cool. You understand? You survive crazy shit. You live through crazy eras and time, and you're still here to tell the story. You know what I mean? What I always say, man, we miracle babies, bro. You're a walking miracle. So who are you to sit there and allow subtleties of disrespect from a stranger that doesn't even know you? Usually, most people put on their best foot forward with somebody they don't know like that. I mean, if you starting off like that, I mean, shit, you don't give a fuck, and that's cool. And again, that's why you always talk to multiple women, and if one falls off, she falls off. And if you got one that's cool, you keep kicking it with her. You don't jump into no wifey shit day one. You don't do none of that. You meet another girl, you talk to her, and you keep that pattern going, because having one girl is too close to having no girls. So, and I'm not I ain't no fucking dating coach, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to even take that credit, but I do know something about women because I've been dealing with dating and talking to women since I've been 15. And what I've learned is most of them are very similar in action and mentality when it comes to men, except those 1%ers. Those are the ones who break all the rules. Those are the ones who change, who come with a standard that you're actually like, wow, like she's gonna make an effort. And unfortunately, a lot of us black men, we aren't trained in understanding courting. We aren't trained in recognizing these women, right? We're not. We come from broken homes. You know, we come from sexual immorality, and everybody sleeping around, and baby mothers and fathers having, you having a stepsister, but it's your sister because your pops got multiple kids with multiple women, including your moms. Like, we don't even see relationships in the house. How are we supposed to know what a good woman is? Where do we even see them? Especially coming up in the hood. Where do you even see them to know what they look like? So a lot of us have fumbled a few of those, right? And if you really want that, I mean, it's something you probably got to pray on with the Most High, that He give you another opportunity to meet a 1%er. You got to be really real with yourself, because we all come with flaws. We're not perfect men. We come from brokenness. How we supposed to know good women when they're right in our face? We dating them. They loving you, but you might think she's, clingy, or she's doing too much. but she's actually, you know, a one percenter, and you're just too immature to know. I mean, I'm sure I met a one percenter. I know I did when I was like 26, 25. And I was like really immature about it, bro. You understand? And that girl did everything for me. She loved me deeply, and I was being a goofy. But I've learned from that, and I've learned to try to understand that I'm not perfect. I'm a man of flaws. There's a lot of ignorance when it comes to a lot of things, but I'm trying my best to be wise and try to use my past experiences to make more sense of my life now, as we all do. You understand? I would never claim to be perfect. That's foolish. But one thing I can do is try to be someone who tries to learn from my mistakes, and someone who understands that adjustments have to be made as you get older. You know, women in Brazil, very attractive, but we got to remember, Brazil is very close to America, South America, right? A lot of American stuff is here in different extremes. Some are subtle, some are more than America, more extreme. So you got to understand that a place like Brazil is not really an escape from Western women. They are Western women. They actually are. You know what I'm saying? Now, are there rarities in here? Of course. I think the sea is a little more plentiful than America, but you still got to be on your P's and Q's, bro. You understand? You still got to be on your P's and Q's, and especially if you live in big cities. I think big cities anywhere, it's going to be a little bit of that, you know, that high technology type play. Like Sao Paulo is one of the biggest cities in South America, you know, just in general, in general, you know. So this is a super metropolis. So you got to think everything that comes with that, and good and bad and ugly and everything in between. It's a cool place to be for me right now, but I still feel like my adventure is not over yet. It's still other things that I want to see. I love the challenge of being in a new place and not knowing things and learning everything, and that wide-eyed child innocence of a place that you go there and you're so excited to just leave and walk around because everything is so new and so fresh. You understand? I think that's something that every man should experience. I think it's something that helps you develop as a man. It helps you be more open. It gives you courage, like a special kind of courage that I think every man should have, to be able to take a real chance and bet on himself and go to the unknown and try to build something out of thin air, because you are a miracle baby and you are blessed, and you be surprised what you can pull off just by taking a chance and going somewhere and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna make it work. And if you stick to the script and you don't get caught up in a bunch of nonsense in these other countries, you can definitely build yourself a life that you can be comfortable and be at peace. And what I'm doing and what other brothers doing, everybody that hears my voice right now can do it. All of you can do it. You understand? You just need a plan, and you gotta stand on that shit, man. You can't let nobody or nothing throw you off. If that's a plan you want to do, you gotta, whatever steps it take to get there, that you know is going to be something where it's like, I don't want to work for nobody, or I want to work remotely, or whatever the case may be, or I want to start a business. You know what I mean? These things, you got to go through the steps, necessary steps. And really take the chance, because that chance could be something that could, you know, create a beautiful life for you that you didn't even dream was possible, man. You know, outside of the women, you know, it doesn't matter. That story was just something I wanted to throw in there, but the real message is, the peace that you encounter, the life that you create, those who are invited into your world, you are the absolute chooser of that. Nobody has to be your friend. No girl has to be your girlfriend or your chick you talking to. They can be dismissed. They can be pardoned. You can say no thank you. You don't have to take anything from anybody. You don't. Because most people are 99 percenters. There's people that's going to come into your life, and there's people that's going to go. There's people that's going to be cool with you. Say you live in LA, and then you move to Atlanta. All those people in LA, you're going to lose touch with them. But it may be a couple of people that you stay cool with even when you go to Atlanta, and y'all stay being friends. Y'all visit each other. They come visit you. They might be 1%ers that are going to be your friends forever, right? But a lot of people aren't like that. You know what I mean? A lot of your homeboys from day one that you know from the sandbox, those are 1%ers. I still got a good handful of my homeboys from when we were little kids. We still talk every day. Every day. Group chat, talking, everything. Every day. You understand? Those are my 1%ers. And it's a beautiful thing to meet those people. You're going to meet them early in life. You're going to meet them later in life. There's nothing wrong with that. Those 1% people are the ones that you cherish, right? You cherish those people, the 1%ers. Friends, people that become family. And when it comes to women, you meet a woman that's going to be a 1%er. She's going to be there for thick and thin, forever and ever and ever. If you're lucky, if you're blessed, if you pray for it, if it's what's in store for you, that's what it's going to be, man. But you got to understand, most are going to be 99%, right? And in between 85 and 99, they're going to be ones that are going to have a real impact on your life in a positive way. You know, it's nothing bad going to come out of it. Y'all might be great friends, but y'all might, you know, you as lovers, you just weren't compatible, but you're great friends. She's an 85er. She'll be around, but just not in the capacity that wasn't you thought in the beginning. You know what I mean? It's a good percentage of those too. You might be your mother, your kids, or your, an ex that you still cool with if you cool with her, or, you know, something like that. But most are going to be 99%ers. Like, you look back and you think of exes and you don't know where they are. You don't have their number. You don't know anything about their life. And think about how crazy that is. This is around the world. It's kind of sad, actually. You know, a woman that you were sexual with, you may have exchanged words that we love you, exchanged vows, and now you don't even know where she is. Think about that. Think of how many people are like that in your life. How many people are like that in their life. And then you meet them and y'all have all of these ghosts of all of these people, these 99%ers. And then y'all expected to figure out how to create something, conduct a relationship out of all of these 99%ers, these ghosts. It's kind of mind-blowing, man, when you think about it. All of these women that you talk to, that you're intimate with, that you have no idea how to contact them. You haven't seen them in 10, 15 years. You don't know what they're doing. You don't even know if they remember you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they got a whole line of people just like that too. It's wild what the world is when you peel back some layers and really think about, like, what are we trying to accomplish with modern dating in this world, knowing things like this. You understand? The amount of barriers and walls and obstacles that are there that we may not even know are there, and we are trying to do the impossible despite these circumstances, is, I guess that's how strong the desire to be with each other is. But it's very it's actually a wild concept when you think about it, you know. But again, all is possible with faith and prayer. If you want something and you really care for it, you ask the Most High for it. You know, He can turn a pauper into a millionaire. You know, it's nothing. He could do that with his eyes closed. So don't feel like it is. A lot of things that we think are impossible in this world are possible through prayer and being righteous about your desires. You know, they are possible. Crazy, insane things that you would think are wild are actually very possible, but we just choose to, you know, use our own devices to try to accomplish something, because in our minds, in our finite imagination of what accomplishing a successful relationship is, we actually believe it's something that we can do ourselves. When if you really conceptualize it and break it down and pull back the layers and expand the concept of it in front of you, you can realize how much of a wild chance that is to actually happen. And then you start to realize that you might not be able to do that on your own accord. You're going to need some help. You're going to need some guidance. You're going to need some discernment. You're going to need blessings. You're going to need someone to align. You know, you're going to need the Most High to align you in the path of someone in a world of 8 billion something people, and align you in this perfect equation of chance and opportunity to where you and this person cross paths and something similar to the Big Bang that or a nuclear bomb going off, or the fusion of electricity, or a lightning striking twice in the same place, that you will meet this person in this serendipitous relationship will be created out of nothingness, and y'all will somehow create this beautiful life where y'all walk to the ends of each other's lives together until y'all part ways in death. When you look at it like that, it makes a lot more sense to think that maybe this is something that we shouldn't try to control, and we should leave it up to something more powerful than we can even begin to understand, right? Because from what I see in my observation and analysis of what people are going through in reality, it's clear that we don't have the answers, and we all, for the most part, can only speak on experiences, but we really don't have any control over the outcome of us, of the possibility of us actually meeting that 1%er. We really don't have any control over it. Think about the chance that you're leaving up to chance. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to make it this is not a doom and gloom. This is just reality talk, man. You know, it's like Prodigy said, reality rap. We just having a reality talk. And a lot of you brothers going to understand where I'm coming from. Some of y'all might be like, you know, I feel like Ghost is bugging out on this one. You know what I mean? I don't believe that, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You got to have game, and you got to, you know, spit your bars and go to the gym and get your money up and be on that Andrew Tate shit. Like, I mean, I'm just joking, but we got to think of the how crazy that chance is for real. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, it's crazy that a lot of people make it more harder for themselves, and a lot of people actually lower their chances of accomplishing that. You know, you hear women say, "Oh, I want a guy who's 6 feet and makes $300,000 and blah blah blah." Like, you're lowering the chances on something that is already like finding a specific grain of sand on the beach, right? Like, you're really looking to find a little grain of gold on a giant beach, and you're going to make the chances more complicated. You understand? Now, that doesn't mean that you should abandon all principle and, you know, concepts of what is respect to you and how you feel like someone should be treating you initially, right? Because someone will say, oh, you're being a hypocrite because this girl didn't hit you and then you said you just stopped talking to her. That's hypocrite. No, it actually isn't. It's me standing on a certain principle because I know that based on that, she's already showed me how she gets down. There's nothing else to see. If it happens once, it'll happen again. You know what I mean? It's like, because I don't do that. When I'm gonna say I'm gonna be somewhere, I'm gonna let it be known if I can't make it, and I'm gonna make sure that I communicate with a person before I waste their time, because I try to come into a situation with respect for the other person, even if I don't know them and we just met. It's still a respect thing there. And if you don't have that basic courtesy, this is a basic rudimentary courtesy to let someone know you can't be somewhere, or you need to change your plans, or you need to reschedule. This is basic. This is like saying please and thank you. You understand? Sir and no sir. This is basic manners, basic respect. So, you know, if that's something that makes you feel like I'm doing too much, then I don't know. We don't have to agree on that. But I've been here long enough to know and learn the hard way that stuff like that here, especially even in America or anywhere, you can't let that slide. Right? You can't. Because who knows? She might be dating. And she might have a guy that she been feeling or dealing with that hit her up, and she like, nah, I'm gonna go see him. Whatever, that's cool. But I'm not gonna be in the rotation. You heard? I'm not gonna be in anybody's weird little, you know, modern, sexually liberated female man rotation. Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I've been in this war too long to put my sword and the shield down now. You know what I mean? Unless I'm at the crib and I'm relaxed. Other than that, I'm watching everything. Everything matters. Even the little things, they all add up, man. I've been that guy that overlooked little things and then they end up being real things later. Things that you try to correct later, and she's looking at you like, oh, now you wanna stand on something? Like, nah, you don't wanna be that guy. If she walks away because you're standing on a principle, so what? She's a 99%er. Who cares? If it wasn't now, it'd have been later. If it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't now, it would have been later. Because she showed that she's a 99%er. Because a girl, and I'm not saying the girl who did communicate that isn't a 99%er, that she couldn't make it. I'm just saying that she's off to a better start. And I'm not saying that she's even going to be anything like that. I'm just saying that at least you got to start off a certain way. That's it. And I feel like this is basic common courtesy. Just respecting. You understand? Because I know I'm almost damn near positive that if you telling a woman you're going to meet her somewhere and you just don't show up and don't call, pretty much ghosted her, and then you hit her the next day like, what's up, ma? She gonna be like, nigga, get the fuck out of here. So I know I'm not bugging, right? I'm just standing on a principle that I'm not gonna waver from. I refuse. But anyway, I've been talking long enough. It's almost been an hour. I hope you brothers is able to enjoy this video, whether you've been on the treadmill, you've been driving, you've been at work, you know, pretending to work with your headphones on and acting like you're doing something. Whether you're just sitting at the crib with a whiskey and a cigar, you know, sitting on your patio, relaxing in the crib. I hope this video was of service. I hope it gave you something to think about. It got your brain cells buzzing a bit, and I love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I appreciate all you brothers for your support. All the new faces, welcome. All the new people to the channel, welcome. This is something I've been doing for a long time. I don't mind making myself of service. Sometimes the videos are a little erratic, but when it comes to certain life experiences, I always try to put those in my videos. I don't try to just walk around following trends. And I could have went out and made 90 Charlie Kirk videos, but I don't want to follow that. I don't want to do the latest gossip. I try to speak from a place of reality, life, things that I go through, that maybe if I can put it into words, I feel like I have a certain skill for taking my life and expressing it so that other people can feel it and learn from it. I feel like that's one of my gifts in life, right? So I share that gift with you, and I hope it was able to help you. I hope it gave you a little wisdom. If you're a young guy and you needed a little more G, and you like, all right, cool, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna move like that. Or you're an older guy and you can think to that, like, yep, I move like that. Whatever the case may be, right? I hope this was able to assist you. I always love being of service. As always, have a blessed week. End the year strong. We getting into them cold winter months, so it's grind time for a lot of you guys. Cuffing season for others, I don't know, but just keep walking those righteous steps. Keep the Most High close, and most importantly, as always, cover your six. It's your brother TMT. Stay blessed. Peace.
In your eyes, where the glow of your love used to shine. In your eyes, where the glow of your love used to shine. In your eyes, where the glow of your love used to shine.